say disability widowers really fast. Here are the statutes that run this program. 42-11111, this talks about the programs, those three, widowers, and disabilities. It gives us our guidelines, it gives us our limits, things like that. Title 42-11151 gives us procedures, and it lets us know that the Department of Revenue, they provide the forms and affidavits, things like that. Title 42-11152 talks about affidavits and false statements. This actually gives us the ability that if there's another way besides coming into the office, that we can actually make other arrangements to go to homes to sign people up if we need to. However, the assessor decides how to do that. 42-11153 talks about the last day of February, 1st of March deadline. It also provides a provision in there to extend that deadline. I know in our office, our Board of Supervisors has granted us the ability to just have them sign an extra form if it's after the deadline. So the assessor decides, yes, I'm going to grant the extension from the end of the 1st of March till what we decide how we can get those, have time to be able to get those applications in and then into the system before our cutoff date. So this year it's the middle of July. So I don't know how many other counties do that. I know some do, but not.
We do like May something.
Okay.
I mean, if they've already brought in most of their paperwork, or
Correct.
some of their paperwork, but they just don't bring in the rest, we get them until May.
Right. Okay. What benefit is a tax exemption? It actually reduces the taxable assessed value on one's property to either lower their tax bill or actually eliminate it completely. In those cases, eliminating it completely would be maybe they have just a mobile home where the value is low enough and it wipes it out. So then they go and they tell their neighbor, hey, I have a full exemption. I don't have a bill at all. They come in and because they have a double wide or they have whatever they have or a house, it doesn't eliminate the tax bill. So there is some confusion there sometimes. And then on if there's any exempt amount left, they can actually use it on their motor vehicle. We don't have too many of them anymore, but they actually can come in and fill out a little slip that they take to the motor vehicle department. So the department tells us what the amount is that we can take off of the assessed value. This year it's $38.94. So and usually that does increase every week a little bit. And the bottom line is, if they qualify, they could save approximately $250 to $300 in their actual tax bill. Statute says they must apply in person. We try to get as many people to come in. It used to be they would have to come in every year and sign a new affidavit. They did away with that years ago. So we do try to get as many in as we can, and then we do make those appointments for those that are homebound. And then there is that deadline that we talked about, but that we have extended that past the normal. That's just a couple months into the year. They need to be an Arizona resident. They must be over the age of 17. And their total assessed value of all property in Arizona cannot exceed $26,458. And that usually does increase, and the Department of Revenue provides that information to us. Some people are up front and tell us, yes, we have a house in Maricopa County. Yes, we have a house in Apache County. But sometimes they don't, and we wouldn't know that unless we looked at every county, on every person, every applicant. Regarding income. So if they don't have any children living in their house under the age of 18, then we just look at the Arizona adjusted gross income, and that can exceed the $32,447 for 2018. If they do have children under the age of 18 that lives at home, or if they have a total and permanently disabled child that lives at home, they can actually make up to $38,926 per their Arizona adjusted gross income. So on the widowed side, if they're supposed to be a resident of Arizona when the spouse passed away. And if not, there's this little rule there that says they'd have to be a resident prior to January 1st, 1969. So there are some people where their spouse, they were on vacation or something, and they passed away in another state. If it doesn't have usual residence Arizona, then we're going to have a hard time being able to qualify that person. And they need to either tell us that they recorded the death certificate, or they need to provide a copy of the death certificate for us. So we also ask them all those questions on the application, and one of them is must not have been divorced from the spouse at the time the spouse passed away. Because we do have people try to come in and get the exemption, then we see that they were deceased, so they try all kinds of things. And if the applicant remarries, they actually no longer qualify for the exemption. So that does kind of get hairy. Let's say they divorced the second husband, but the first husband had passed away and they went back on the program. They remarried, so they actually don't qualify under the first husband any longer. Exemption must be for their current situation. Okay, for a disability exemption, they must be totally and permanently disabled, either physically or mentally, resulting in that person's inability to engage in any substantial gainful activity. They need to provide a medical certificate, which the Department of Revenue provides for us to give out to folks, or they need a letter from the Veterans Affairs. Whichever document that they provide, it needs to state total and permanent. It must be dated. We have them dated past the previous year's statutory deadline, or postmarked and delivered by our current deadline. So let's say they missed the deadline this year, but they went in September and they saw their doctor and he signed the form, so they could use that the next year for applying. But if it was 4 years ago, we're probably going to have them get a new one signed, because again, they don't have to do this every year. They used to have to do both the application and the med cert every single year. And then they decided to do a disability med cert every 5 years. And now they've completely done away with having to do that. So we want to make sure that we have everything what we need that's current and upfront for this one time that they're making the application. So this is our information sheet. It talks about everything, most of everything that we previously discussed. And this is, we use the Department of Revenue application for this program. Here's the medical certificate. And on the medical certificate, it does say physician or psychiatrist. So I know there's a lot of nurse practitioners, family nurse practitioners out there. I know some counties may be accepting those. Our county has not. It still needs to be signed by an MD. So until we get directive from the department, here's our after deadline form. It's very simple. It just says, yes, I know it's after the deadline, but I would still like my exemption. So. And then we actually do mail out little yellow postcards that has updated information for the program. And this is just our communication to the public saying, yes, we know you're on our program. If anything changes, telephone number, you buy a new house, or you move and it needs to go to your daughter's house, or whatever the case may be. This just gives them a heads up that yes, we know you're on our program, but yet communicate to us only if things change. And on Yavapai County property tax bill, the exemption is right there, right there in the middle. So people come in, I don't think I got my exemption, so we look at their bill and it's right there, and everything seems to be okay. So this is a comparison between the two programs, because people get them confused. It's very easy to confuse them. So personal exemption actually reduces the property tax dollar amount. The senior freezes the value of the property. And we get those questions all the time. Okay, I'm coming in to freeze my tax and my taxes, and we have to explain it's the value. Value limitation to qualify. Have to be over age 17. Deadline is March 1st. Ability to extend that deadline. Income, we look at the Arizona adjusted gross income. And retaining retention schedule is 4 years after the calendar year exemption ended. Let's see if it's going to work out. On the free side, there's no value limitation to qualify. The age minimum is 65 years or older, at least 1 person on title must meet that requirement. The deadline is September 1st. We do actually extend it if it lands on a weekend or a holiday. We look at all taxable and non-taxable income for all people on title. And the retention schedule, I believe it's 2 years after they've been denied or after they have not qualified.